Right, indeed. Happy New Year, year 2025. I know many of you, last time we met, last year, that was year 2024, we ushered in a new year, that is year 2025. Welcome on board. Ochwani Timothy, maybe for you who is watching us for the very first time, I welcome you on board. With me in studio is Father Martin Chibole from the parish, who is the parish priest of St. Charles Luaga, that is Hambale, Kakamega Diocese, if I'm not wrong. But I know he'll be doing a better introduction of himself. Indeed, for you who have interacted with him before, I know you know him as a great teacher, a preacher, and a mentor to many who are within and from afar off. And therefore, before I just give him time to do a better introduction of himself, let me just remind you that you can engage us during our session using our studio lines, which are 0756303019. Besides that, our Facebook, you can search us on Uprising TV, that is on our Facebook social handle. Besides that, we go with the same names on X, initially known as Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. We are also live on YouTube, and therefore share the links with those who are abroad, also maybe for those who cannot get us using our studio channels. To that point, allow me welcome Father Chibole so that he can do a better introduction of himself. Welcome, Father.
Thank you very much, my friend Timothy.
Yes.
I am very happy to find time to join this great TV station. One of its kind here in Vihiga County. I think the first TV station we have. So very exciting to be here,
Yes,
to contribute to the growth and the service that this TV is meant to give our great county and the entire country and the world as a whole. Yes.
I know as we started, actually I've been getting feedback from our viewers, and they told me at least they would like to see you on board.
Oh, yeah.
So you see, I've been under pressure and I've been asking me questions. When is he coming? When is he coming?
Okay.
Now, I think the question is now answered.
Thank you.
And maybe for those who are following us, they're eager to know maybe where we kickstarting it from.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So very nice. As you heard, my name is Reverend Father Martin Chibole.
Yes.
Father Martin Chibole is a teacher. I am a teacher of English and literature in English.
Yes.
Father Chibole is a Catholic priest. I serve God and his people. And Father Chibole is a counselor. I have undergone some training in counseling. So I teach, I preach, and I counsel. And that makes my life very exciting because I have three things I do almost on a daily basis. And so very happy to be here, also to contribute, especially now that the biggest team I serve are the youth. 60%
Yes.
of our population at home, in the neighborhood, in church, and wherever is made of the youth. So that's why I'm excited to come and talk about how to counsel the youth, because they are such an asset. If channeled well, the youth are an asset. But if we ignore them, they become a liability.
Yeah. You see, like youths, there are a number of issues that do affect them.
Yes.
Mention drugs, mention peer pressure,
Yes.
and sometimes lifestyle. So there
Yes.
are a number of issues that do affect youths.
Yes.
And that is why this particular day I'm so much interested to know where
Yes.
you'll be kickstarting it from.
Okay.
Yes.
Fine. So I want to talk about youth counseling because it is a very key issue that all of us spend some time to counsel and to encourage the youth.
Yes.
So I will define who a youth is, and I will also define what counseling is about.
Yes.
And then we pick it from there. We will also be discussing why do the youth need counseling, what it is, why they need it, how do we do it, and what are the outcomes of a counseled youth. When a youth is well counseled, there are great benefits that come with it. So let's begin by looking at who the youth are. Generally, You can categorize people into three: children, youth, and adults. So those who are below 13 years, from 0 to 12, you may call those one children. But when one is 13 to 35, that is a youth. Again, so youth are people who are between the age of childhood and adulthood. The youth are no longer children, and they are not yet adults. So it is this transitional stage between childhood and adulthood. And that is what makes it complicated, because it is safe to be a child and it is stable to be an adult. Yeah, safe to be a child and stable to be an adult. So, but now when you become a youth, you start to lose the safety of a child, and you have not yet gained the stability of an adult. So that's why what makes youth stage quite very dynamic and tricky. You're no longer as safe. Children are safe with anyone and everyone that is good. The adults are stable because they are where they wish to be. But the youth now, they are in between. They have left one station and they're headed for the other one, and they are not yet there. So that's what makes a youth what they are. Then you can categorize the youth again into three. We have what we call junior youth, and the junior youth are between 13 to 17. You find them in high school. They will be junior school and senior school now that CBC is here with us. Then we have the youth we call intermediate youth. And now those ones have just left Form 4, they are in college. Basically they are college students, Form 4 leavers and college students. We call them intermediate youth, and that is between 18 to 25. And then we have the senior youth. The senior youth are between 26 to 35. And so you can see quite a wide range is who the youth are. Those who are in high school, those in college, and those after college, senior now, struggling to establish their families, to settle in their jobs, in their vocations or marriages. And so again, that comes with its joys and challenges as well. Yeah. So basically that's a youth. This person, boy or girl, that is no longer a child, but not yet an adult, struggling with schooling, training, job hunting, settling down. They also have issues with relationship because now they want to establish families. So issues of heartbreak. They try to invest in this relationship, it doesn't work. They try another one. You know, that is how unsafe and unstable being young can be. And that explains why we need to be there for them, especially we the adults are called upon to support the youth, because soon and very soon they will join us. They will now become adults like us, and if they come to us well prepared, we will benefit. But if they come to us and they're not, yes, then you've seen what has happened lately in our country. The Gen Z, yes, feeling very insecure, very unstable. They worked so hard so that they can live a good life, but they get there, they have all these papers and all these applications and job interviews they go for, and society, the Kenyan society doesn't look like they are ready to assist them. And they reacted, and we are not yet off the hook. From where I sit, we have not solved the problem of the youth. We have not cancelled them as we should. So now that's what brings me. May I now look at counseling as a process? So counseling is this exercise of meeting someone to be helped and to help, because in counseling there's a client, there's a counselee and a counselor. So it's a meeting of two people, one who needs help and one who can give help. So that process of interaction between the counselee and the counselor is what counseling is about. And basically in counseling, you meet someone who has, definitely you meet somebody with an issue. We certainly don't go for counseling when we are okay. We go for counseling because we need help. Yes, so there's one who needs to be helped and there's one who believes they can be of help. So that process of listening to somebody with an issue with an aim of assisting them to find a lasting solution is what counseling is about. Notice that in counseling we don't offer ready-made solutions. I want to compare a counselor to a midwife, where the client has the child, and you, the midwife, only helps them to bring their child on board. And so in good counseling, you create an environment where the client, the person with an issue, can both articulate their issue and you help them find a solution. Because when they find the solution themselves, they will own it. But if you prescribe a solution to them, at some point they could disown it. Yeah, you know, there's a difference between giving fish and teaching someone how to fish. So in effective counseling, we teach the client how to fish, how to find solutions so that the next day they have another issue, they can also become their own counseling. And then talking about dimensions of counseling, there is what we call self-counseling. There is what we call horizontal counseling, and there is what we call vertical counseling. What do I mean by that? In self-counseling, the client and the counselor is one. And in fact, that is the best that, you know, having gone for a few sessions of counseling, one should eventually become a self-counselor, that you can advise yourself. You can call yourself to a meeting and say, this is the issue, and I'm thinking this is the way to go.
Yes.
Horizontal counseling is where people of the same age, rank, and status help one another. So when I'll be looking at agents of counseling, you will see that that even age mates who understand each other, again, that is a very effective level of counseling, where a youth also counsels another youth, youth helping youth. We call them peer counselors, where somebody of your age. That again is very effective because the wearer of the shoe knows where it pinches most. And then vertical counseling is where a senior counsels a junior, where a parent counsels a child, a teacher counsels a student, a preacher counsels a believer. You know, there is, so that is, so all those three levels of counseling are important. You know, there's what you can do for yourself, there's what an age mate can do for you, and there's what you may need, the experience and wisdom of a senior to assist. See that? So the youth need all these levels of counseling. We must empower them to know that they can be there for one another. Because, you know, something about the youth are either restoring or destroying. You can train them to destroy or restore. And that is why, like what happened in Kenya most recently, you see the young complained, and we are busy rewarding the adults. So that from where I sit, I think what is happening in Kenya is a mismatch. The youth cannot complain of a problem, and then you settle the adults. The youth will remain restless. So we must bring them on board. Yes, because they have a problem, let's help them find a solution. And the solution is just about empowering them. Let's empower them, those who are in school, to get quality education. Those who are training, to have the best. And those who are ready to work, let's create job opportunities for them. Yes, we may tell them that these are not days of job seeking.
This is Uprising Television, enriching lives.
These are days of job creating, but we all know that job creating and job creation is not a walk in the park. We must, the how do we, I'm sure a person who seeks work is because they can't create it. We all would love to be job creators if we could. Yeah, so it is a bit of empty talk to just tell the youth, stop being job seekers, be job creators. That the government, the church, the community is in a position to create jobs. We must begin by job seekers. Even the job creators were once job seekers. So let's be very honest with our youth. I believe if we take them for granted, that's where we miss the point. Yes, we must just realize that if 60% of our population, wherever, is made of the youth, these are not people you can ignore and manage. In a home, the youth are more. The children are more than the parents. In the community, the same. In the church, great, is made of the youth. So, is youth. So let's be there for them. Because the adult today is the youth yesterday. And the youth today is the adult tomorrow. So let's have an honest conversation, and let's all be youth counselors. Let us all assist the youth to find a solution, because in finding a solution, we will benefit. Look, in a home, when our youth are empowered, don't the parents benefit? They do. In the community, the same. In the church, when the youth are empowered, the church is okay. So let's not just think that by giving them these opportunities, we lose. Yeah, and very sad to see recycling of old personnel. That's unfortunate. Yes. I've done my job, I've retired. I'm enjoying my...
Someone who since he has never gotten any job.
Yes.
For one,
Yes.
he can empower himself.
Correct.
But we end up recycling.
Yes. Now that is a disservice. That's not a society that is counseling the youth right. Because in counseling, you are finding solutions. But now, in finding solutions, we must. There's no running away from it. Yes. If we don't find the solution will find us. Just like they say, if you don't change, change will change you.
There's been this saying, and
Yes.
I don't know whether as a country have been misusing it. They say, youths,
Yes.
children,
Yes.
the leaders of tomorrow. So the question has always been, when will this tomorrow come?
Yes. That is a dishonest assertion. You are creating false hope. And the youth have realized that we cannot be pushing them to a tomorrow that never comes. So surely tomorrow is built on today. Tomorrow doesn't sit in the air. It is today, third, that will give rise to tomorrow, fourth. So there'll be no fourth if there was no first, second, and third. So what you'll do for me tomorrow, start doing for me now. So the leader tomorrow is created today. So we cannot be telling them. So that's a tired saying the youth have discovered. We were trying to create false hope. They have tried to reach that tomorrow. It's not coming. So when you see them restless, disturbed, and life is an echo. What you give is what you get back. So if we don't settle the youth, we shall also not be settled as children and as adults. They are in between. They will make children unsafe, they make adults unstable. And they are capable of doing that. When they are running around the streets, are our children safe? No. Are the businesses of the adults stable? They are not. So you see, our solution is in settling the youth. A good parent is one whose children are in school, training
Yes.
or working. A good neighborhood is where the youth are engaged. A good church is one that has programs for the youth. As you sit, as you look at the children and adults, you should ask, where are the youth?
Yes.
What are they doing? How engaged are they? Until that is taken care of,
Yes.
it is not yet well. And suppressing them and killing them isn't a solution. It will hit back. And because there are so many, you can't kill them all.
Yes.
And you know, again, if you begin a conversation of killing, in fact, they can kill us faster than we can kill them. If we told them that it is fighting we want to go, we won't manage. Remember, there are more. Yes.
The bigger percentage
Yes.
of our society.
So, hey, look at when they stormed into parliament. Those were just 300 parliamentarians. Are our youth 300? They are more than that. And the MPs were better off running away because, indeed, it was not going to end well. If they underestimated the anger the youth had, it would have been bad. But again, look at our youth. When they caught up with one MP that was, living with a disability, they were kind to him. So the youth are reasonable until you underestimate them. Remember, we are actually making, it's what we make of them.
Yes.
We also, as society, we can help them restore or help them destroy. Remember, they are capable of, they can be good, they can be bad. So why don't we make them good? That's from where I sit. My training as a teacher, as a priest, and as a counselor makes me realize that we are better off addressing their concerns because they are valid. And sadly, even what the Gen Zs raised, the adults had been talking about it, the church was talking about, nobody was listening. But the youth being the youth, they went to the streets and did what they did. And we shouldn't wait until our people go to the streets to address issues that we can address way in advance. Sure. Yes.
Someone may be thinking back in his mind because as a church, our political system, even back at family level, are we counseling youths, are we empowering them? Because you see, like, youths outside there, they're looking for jobs. They're looking for means on which they can get empowered.
Yes.
And you see, like, sometimes as a parent, maybe as a minister now that is in charge, and maybe even politicians, you see when they do campaigns, they normally give us hope. You see, like, once I get into office, you see I'll create more jobs, I'll improve the state of life, maybe inside the country. And you see, eventually when they get there, maybe back in their mind, I don't know whether they normally forget or what normally happens. So you see, like something you mentioned earlier on, there is this false hope. Yes. And when it comes to empowering youth, something you mentioned like recycling also has been happening in our country. Maybe in a position where you sit as a leader, like what would be the advice you would give to politicians, to ministers of the word, to parents, and maybe people in offices who are listening?
Okay.
Yes.
This is what I would say about what you've asked. Honesty is the best policy. You know, the youth live in an ideal world, almost expecting perfect situations, until it dawns on them that the world is real, not really ideal. But it's good to have ideals in life. Yeah, you must aim very high so that even if something happens and you don't achieve the highest you could, you still achieve something better. So the youth are very idealistic. But over time, they get to realize the reality. But we need to be honest with them. In a family, because this counseling we're talking about cannot just be done by, counseling is a collective responsibility. Okay? So that even when I'm looking at the agents of youth counseling, I will start by mentioning the family. Okay, every family must counsel its youth. And mom and dad, big brother, big sister, you remember that younger brother or sister with an issue, and you'll always see issues in them. Please attend to them. The community, the neighborhood must counsel its youth. The village elder, yes, the neighbors. You know, we grew up at a time where the entire community was concerned. Yes, they saw you smoking, drinking, messing with a girl or a boy. No, you'll be disciplined. That was counseling. That was a community collective responsibility. The school must strengthen their counseling departments. In the past, for us, we were caned to succeed. Today, we must counsel them to succeed, because it is not in the cane. It's not how much we beat them. You know, there's compelling and convincing. So gone are the days we compelled people to do things. Today we convince. And counseling is a powerful tool of conviction. Then, so I've had the family, the neighborhood, and then I go to the school, and all learning institutions, from the lowest to the highest, they must invest in proper counseling, and not counseling for the sake of it. What we see sometimes in schools, they just look at a teacher who's quiet, or, you know, and say, you will be the GNC, guiding and counseling teacher. But schools must invest. If you pick on a teacher to be the school counselor, empower them, take them for a training. But better still, just employ. Yes, because they are there. There are so many counselors. And create a counseling department, engage professionals. They will do that school a lot of good service. Then from the school, we go to the workplace. Every organization, every employer must invest in counselors. And that will give you better service. You must have a department in every institution where people work, where a worker or a boss, because even bosses have their issues, they can also approach a counselor and be assisted. Sorry. So, and then, so I've mentioned the family, the neighborhood, the school, the workplace. Then our worship centers, yes, must also invest in counseling. Yes, prayer is powerful, but you know, you cannot offer a spiritual solution to a psychological, emotional problem. So, psychological issues need psychological solutions. Emotional, the same. So even our worship centers, be they mosques or churches, must also invest. We must ensure that we empower our preachers, but more than that, create departments also, because the preacher is trained to teach the word. So let's also hire counselors. You may be a very good preacher, but not a good counselor. Because again, my experience will show that juggling between the two is very tricky. You can easily start preaching people's problems or teaching people, you know, that's why. Yes. Yes. And that can be injurious. So that's why my recommendation would be the school. You see, even when you visit schools as school chaplains, many students don't visit the counseling department because the teacher I told everything in the counseling room is the one I meet for a maths lessons. So I start to wonder, did they forget what I told them, or they view me as the drug abuser, like the fornicator, and that I was. So that's why, you know, counseling, as I'll be talking about it, how to do it later, confidentiality is key. Once you lose the confidentiality of the client, you've lost it. And so, let's have the teachers teach and the counselors support. Let's have the preacher preach and a counselor, so that what I said in counseling, I don't see it in the lesson. What I said I don't see it in the sermon of my preacher. Yes, and you know that's also job creation. There's so many counselors who are not engaged. The universities are graduating counselors every year. You wonder where they go. Do you know we have counselors who are doing other jobs other than what they trained? You may find a counselor who is selling clothes in the market, and the training they got is unutilized because nobody engaged them. So if counseling cannot give me bread and butter, I better put it aside and go and wash cars, go and sell clothes. You get? So we need, the people we've trained as counselors, we need to engage them. And they are needed. We need them in the family. We need them in the neighborhood. We need them in the schools. We need them in the places of work. We need them in the places of worship. We need them. The cabinet, the leaders also need counselors. They normally go for advisors. But our leaders need counselors because look at the president we have now and what he's carrying on his head and shoulder. He needs to go for counseling so that he doesn't become very irritable and abusive, as you can see. You know, from a counseling point of view, you can see somebody who needs help. When Kenyans raise issues and you say, you are fools, you are possessed, then there is. So even every leader must engage a counselor, not just an advisor, a cheering squad, because all that the advisors have become, they are just cheering squad. They are just saying, go for it, you're on the right track. If they don't say that, they are fired. But you need a counselor because in counseling, remember, confidentiality and honesty are key in counseling. A counselor tells you the truth. They tell you when you're right, they tell you when you're wrong. And you take it as it is. So you see how important counseling is. Not just for the youth, children need counseling, adults do. But now, why are we concentrating on youth? Because there is a need there. These people are in transition. They are no longer safe. They're not yet stable. So we must accompany them.
Actually, using an example that maybe we also last year, that is year 2024, when they were demos maybe championed by the Gen Zs.
Yes.
We saw them say, like, you see, we want to take it on our own, like what our fathers have failed to do.
Yes.
We feel like it is our time to show them how they should have done it.
Yes.
So you see, they sit down and they realize, like, if we don't act, there is a gap somewhere.
Yes. And they're right. Remember, the adults are stable. And the adults value stability. You saw that even when the Gen Z were making their point, the adults came in and said, please, you're making our businesses unstable, blah, blah, blah. You see? So adults cherish stability. Children cherish safety. But the Gen Z, the youth, no longer enjoy the safety of childhood or not yet the adulthood, the stability of adulthood. So we should understand them, and trying to silence them isn't the issue. The issue is our children. Where did we lose you? What exactly are you saying? How can we help? And be honest with them. You had asked me a question. How come that every leadership aspirant, you know, yes, it is the youth they go for. They tap the energy of the youth, the freshness, the creativity of the youth. But as soon as they take office, they kick the youth out and they just go for their stable adults. Now, why does that happen? Because of dishonesty. Yes, even as they tell the youth, come, we form a government. Look at the government we have. How many people are young there?
Like in the current cabinet,
Yeah.
they use it as an example. I think there is just one.
Yes.
Yes.
Really? And when they should be 60% of that cabinet should be young, because to respond to actually what the population is. So dishonesty is our biggest problem. We are not honest with them. And they will also not be honest with us, because you see, life is an echo. What we give is what we get back. So you see, we are teaching them not to be honest. If we can tell them this and do the opposite. So they will also be very dishonest with us. And what kind of society are we creating when you don't say what you mean and you don't mean what you say? So that explains why the situation is what it is. But we must now call ourselves into a meeting. The country has a crisis, and until we up our game on honesty, we will only be having short-term solutions. And you have discovered, almost to the end of the year, we had youth demonstration almost a day or two to the end of the year, when the political leadership believed they had sorted it out by bringing the former prime minister on board, the former president, and those other political and tribal chiefs. They believed they had sorted it. But from where we sit, we know that not much has been done, because you're offering a political solution to an economical problem. Actually, our problem is economy, not fixing the economy. Our problem is legal, not following the law. Our problem, and why are we not fixing the economy and and living by the Constitution? Because we are not honest. Yes, our economy, so that poverty is a political tool, and the youth are refusing to be made poor, because they know that even poverty is not the will of God. God did not create poor people. So, but poverty is being used as a tool. Keep them poor so that you can...
Keep, like mentioning us when we come to podiums,
Yes.
our names which will be mentioned.
Yes, the youth are refusing that. And they are very... Because how will they start their families on the platform of poverty? They need empowerment. Physical, emotional, psychological, and economic empowerment. So that, and I personally believe that an empowered people will take care of their situations. Did you know, my friend, that the church does not need handouts? We don't need politicians coming to our churches on Sundays to flash around those millions. Just pay our people well, they will take care of the church. But if our people are poor, and you bring 5 million to the bishop, to the priest, to the pastor, you in fact, you endanger that. At night, no wonder, yes, at night they will come for those 5 millions. They say, we saw the politician gave you 5 million. Give us some of that.
Let us share.
You see? And my brother, the preachers, have been killed by people who are pursuing the proceeds of an arambe that was done during the day, and at night they will attack you. Is that the country we want? Empower the youth. Let everybody work hard and get the honest pay, and they will build the churches. But not to pay Kenyans their honest salaries and wages, and come give millions in church. Doesn't, in fact, it makes the church the enemy of the people. So when you see the churches rejecting those millions, we honestly mean it, that fix the country, fix the economy, stop, because that is hiding in us. They are also trying to silence us, of course, that, you know, the hand that feeds you, you cannot bite. Yes. So, because the church, who is a major counselor of the youth, and is now the voice of the voiceless, and the church stands with the youth as they ask for quality education. That's why we begin schools for the youth. That's why we create little job opportunities in church and the little business ventures that the church has. So the politician now, did you know that sadly it looks like the church is the only opposition that the government now has? Because the opposition party has been compromised. So, and we have an administration that wants to silence everyone. Oh yes, by force, by fire. But don't try the church, because can you silence God? You can kill one preacher, the next one will speak the truth. We know that many of our preachers have been killed before, but that has not stopped the church from doing its mandate. The church has a mission to teach, to preach, and to affirm what is good, and to reject and rebuke what is wrong. That is a God-given mandate. Nobody can silence the church on that. Can a creature silence the Creator? No way. So behind the church, there is the Creator. We speak for God. Not because he cannot speak for himself, but God being the God he is, he involves us, and that is it. So we speak for the youth, and that's why the youth need counseling.
Yes.
I don't know whether that's a signal. The youth are stretching. So the church, as we speak, is the best youth counselor that the young people have and need. And so we speak for them because we can see what they are going through. They want quality education. So even as we have the transition from 844 to CBC, can we be honest about it and give our youth a good deal? Let's not play politics with the education of our children. Job creation. We as church believe that because one of the issues our youth unmet expectations is one major cause of restlessness. So in every counselor, as you listen to the youth, you will notice that they are restless because their studies are not working. The training is tough. As I say that, just the December we're finishing, I know a young person who took their life very sadly because the training he was doing was difficult. He was supposed to proceed for attachment, and he wasn't granted because he had failed a few units. And, oh, poor young man, he took his life. You can see the things that are killing our youth. It is that schooling, that training, that job, that relationship that is costing them. So that's why we're saying that we have a role to play as church, and we are not the only youth counselors, but we are a major one. And that is why through this program, we're trying to make counselors of everyone. Notice that the youth needs us. And let's have counseling opportunities for our youth everywhere and anywhere. From the family, so that you, mom and dad, more than a disciplinarian, you must be a counselor. You must realize that your son needs you to hear them out. What they are talking may not make sense, but just listen. Because in counseling, we listen, we learn, we lead out, we liberate in order to live. So we call them the 5 L's of counseling. Listen, learn, lead, liberate, and live. Okay? So exactly what our youth need. They need to be listened to. We need to learn what they are going through. We need to lead them, to school, to church, to work. Yes, leadership is about finding solutions for our people. You know, a leader who doesn't care whether their people have eaten or dressed or whether they have housing, education, and health isn't a leader. A leader provides. A leader protects those under their care. And that leadership is about provision and protection. Yes, you provide environment, life, and then you protect the lives and the property of those under your care. Have you seen how people are sad when our youth are abducted and found dead or something? We are all disturbed by that because we are supposed to be protecting them, not abducting them. Yes, even as we talk to our youth to be respectful, but understanding the psyche of the youth, you know that they can hit and hit hard. But we give them a reason to do that. Yes, but had we done our bit,
Yes, that may be good.
yes, that one. So there is a cause to their anger. And so instead of just countering their anger, address the cause. Yes, then what is the cause root of why the youth are doing what they are doing? So we listen to them, we learn what they are going through, we lead them by provision and protection, we liberate them from whatever oppresses them. Yeah, they need liberation, and then we let them live. Live and let live, you know. I should live and let live. I should succeed and let succeed. And the youth are telling us, allow us also to live. Yeah, lead and let others also lead. So now when you are recycling, when will they have a chance?
Actually, I agree with you, because when you look even into the Bible, like
Yes.
Elijah, that is,
Yes.
he knew time would come and he wouldn't be there. So
Exactly.
he had to enter someone by the name of Elisha.
Correct.
So what happened to Moses? You see Joshua coming thereafter.
Yes.
In the New Testament, you have Paul with Timothy.
Yes.
And Timothy, like Paul, mentored a number of people.
He did.
So there should be that tradition.
Exactly.
Lead and then allow other people to
Lead. Live and let others live. And we call it replace yourself. You know, the adult world must replace itself. And who are our replacement? The youth. The children are a bit far, so the youth are our replacement. If you're a teacher, how many teachers are you creating? If you're a counselor, if you're a preacher, you should care that when you're not, we will not be there. Who will do what you are doing? Replace yourself. And that is a great sign of leadership. Create other leaders. And it is the youth, from the youth, we can get the people who replace us. So let's not fight the people who replace us. Don't we care for a good replacement, as we shall be enjoying our retirement? You see how retired presidents and retired bishops and they are so disturbed if they are replaced by rogues, because your replacement can give you hell. So you should care who replaces you. Empower them so that you can enjoy your rest, your retirement. Because, you know, as you drive and let another drive, you should sleep, because the next driver is good enough. Otherwise, if you're the only good driver, you surely will not drive forever. And when you leave it to the nasty driver, how will you rest? You can only enjoy your retirement if you had prepared a good successor for yourself. And the youth are the replacement of the adults. They are not a threat. Let's just engage them, because, you know, leaving the scene we must, by force or by fire. Even naturally, nature will eliminate us when that time comes. So we cannot stick there and manage. And so, after all, haven't we replaced the job I do now, the mission I run, the school I teach, whatever I do, somebody did it before me. And if they destroyed it, I will not be there. So I must also care to do a good job, that there will be, will also, and exactly what youth counseling is about. As you help the youth find solutions to their issues, we are better off with an empowered youth, with a stable youth, with a settled youth. But until we take care of the youth, the children are not safe, the adults are not stable. And that is my clarion call to everyone. Yes.
And truly, to our viewers, I believe that you have actually learned with our today's session, because that was just but an introduction. And we shall be having further Chibole each and every Saturday, such like ours, I know, starting us from 8 all the way to 9. Those are the timelines. Also, I told you, you can get us using our studio, our social handles. That is to do Facebook on Uprising TV, also on TikTok, also on Instagram. But besides, Yes, now we come to an end of our tonight's session. Actually, it will be a session which will be coming to you each Saturday. That is starting us from 8 all the way to 9. And therefore, maybe if you have been locked in today, remember to share the information with a friend that he can be tuning in, so that when we keep the wheel rolling, that we move together. But before I just wrap the session, allow Father Chibole, because I know that those who are maybe seeing him for the very first time, allow me just pass or let me give him that position to do his final remarks as we come to a wrap of our tonight's session.
Thank you, Tim, for the opportunity, for allowing me this space to do what I love, teach, preach, and counsel. Yes, as Timothy has said, we pray God that we will be having an opportunity every Saturday to minister, to serve a very esteemed part of this team, the youth, without, of course, forgetting the children and the adults. But in a youth, there is a child, and in a youth, there is an upcoming adult. And so let's take care of our young people, because in taking care of them, we are taking care of ourselves. So what this is meant to do is to make youth counselors of all of us. Remember, it's a collective responsibility. If you are staying, working, and meeting, and ministering to the young, please listen to them, learn from them, lead them into godly ways, liberate them from whatever may be oppressing them, and only then shall they and us live and live well.
Yes. Before maybe I release you, because I know this is a question that I will be asked. Maybe someone wants to know how he can reach you. Maybe if you provide us the channels.
Okay.
And finally, as we end the session, just bring us.
Oh, yes. Thank you. For now, I would like to, first of all, physically, I'm found at Chibole Catholic Mission, which is opposite St. Clair's Maragoli Girls.
Yes.
I am normally in the office, in the church office, every day from 8 to 10. Anybody who wants to come for a chat, you're most welcome. And then, but on phone, you can get me on 0721 840 326. I'll say that again, 0721 840 326. So those two will do. That is also my WhatsApp line, in case you also want to catch up on that. I will be providing my email and other channels of communication as time goes by, but the easiest is the physical meeting, and even on phone. And yes, I love serving the young. For them, I am a teacher. For them, I am a preacher. And for them, I am a counselor. And because somebody offered me the same services, I would not be who I am if somebody didn't care to nurture me, to mentor me. So I received this and I gave it back. Yes.
Can you, as we just end the session?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay. So I want to welcome you that we talk to the counselor number one, counselor par excellency, who is none other than God himself. So let us pray. Father in heaven, I want to thank and praise your holy name. Thank you for this opportunity you've given me to come to this studio, the Uprising TV. Thank you for Bishop Wawire and this great ministry. Thank you for the team behind the TV station. Father, we adore you, we glorify you, we thank you, especially for the children you've given us, the youth in our midst, and the adults for whom we owe who we are. Father, I want to pray that you help the counseling process that our young people require to glorify you, to serve them and make them better. Protect our young people. I know you're a God of the children, God of the youth, God of the adults. Just bless them, dear Lord, especially in a short while. They'll be going back to school, back to college. Be there for them. May they be winners and never losers. This we ask in the name of Jesus the Lord, Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Thank you.
Now, that brings us to an end. Actually, it's just a start of the sessions that we shall be having each and every Saturday. That is as from 8 all the way to 9, as I mentioned earlier on. Therefore, keep it locked here at Uprising TV. I have been your host, Chibole, as I had also mentioned earlier on unto you that with me in studio has been none other than Father Martin Chibole from St. Charles, Luanda.
Correct.
Amen. See you there. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you. Santa.
This is Uprising Television, enriching lives.